Coach of the Year very well could be John Harbaugh for the second straight year if he keeps making decisions like he did yesterday. And remember, we hear this from time to time, like when there's a team on the road and there's a close controversial call, the home team doesn't play it on the Jumbotron or whatever the hell they call those things now. And yesterday there was a play that nobody thought would potentially be overturned. Marcus Peters has the ball, and then he doesn't. It looks like an incomplete pass. Harbaugh told me after the game, I thought it was incomplete, but then he looked up, and he saw the big board, and he saw it replayed, and he saw Marcus Peters get two hands on the ball. He saw 3 feet hit the ground. He remembered that the rule now, when they finally tried to come up with an objective standard that meets the subjective gut-level feeling that we know it when we see it, they have the rule that says if you have the ball and you get 3 feet down, it's a catch. So he threw the red challenge flag, concluding it was a catch, and Al Riveron agreed. And Charean, this was one where I wanted to pounce. I wanted to say this is another example of Al Riveron just reading off of a card all the words he has to say, even if the words don't match the video. I had that story ready to go. And I watched the video one more time. And I watched it again. I watched it again. And I watched the feet while I watched, with peripheral vision, the hands on the ball. Then I watched the hands on the ball while I watched the feet with peripheral vision. And you know what? Peters had both hands on the ball, and he got 3 feet down. And it doesn't have to trigger that inner, hey, that's a catch. If you have the ball in your hands and you get 3 feet down, it's a catch. Harbaugh was right, and Riveron was right, even though when you watch it, it feels like it was wrong.
Somebody in Indy was fired today, probably Mike, for showing up on the big board. Or if they weren't, they definitely were reprimanded for sure. But I was opposite. I didn't think he had control of the ball. And, Reich said that that third foot really made the big difference, he thought, although he still disagreed that it was a catch. But I went back today and watched the play because I'm like, okay, well, if it was a catch, then it was a fumble. So I first looked on the play-by-play. Sure enough, they rule it a fumble. And then I watched to see if there was a clear recovery, who recovered the ball. And sure enough, the Ravens picked up the ball smartly. So if the Colts had picked up the ball there, they would have had the ball, and maybe they would have challenged. They would have had to challenge it because obviously the Ravens wouldn't have at that point. Because it was a fumble. So that was an interesting part of the play, too, that no one's really talking about. And I think defensive coordinators today, offensive coordinators both, should be telling their guys, go pick up the ball just to be sure, hand it to an official, because it could be ruled a fumble.
Remember that screwy outcome from the Bears-Eagles playoff game 2018 where there was something like this, where the ball just laid there, and the end result was, even though it was a catch and a fumble, the end result was it was incomplete because there was nothing that could ultimately be overturned because nobody ultimately secured possession of the loose ball. That was that.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.